Hi, I'm Kay from KRS Wigs. Thank you so much for joining me for my wig review for this beautiful style called Flow by Wille in Pearl Blonde Rooted. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss this cap construction. Before I start, I want to say a big thank you to Wig Studio One for sending me this piece so I can review it for you. And you will find the link to this piece down below in the description box. So let's start with this color, Pearl Blonde Rooted. I adore this color. So let's look at this color in more detail. It is described as a pearl platinum blended with light strawberry blonde and lightest golden blonde with shaded roots. Roots are really well done. They look really natural how they transition into the main color. They are throughout the wig. So when the wind goes, it looks like natural regrowth all over. Here's the color outside, so hopefully that will give you a good idea of what this color looks like outside in the natural light. Indoors, I have no artificial lights on. I only have a big window this side. So let's talk about flow. As you can see, this is, I would say, a medium length, slightly wavy, which I love. This slightly wavy look with lots of layers. To me, it has this feel of, I just spent the day by the beach kind of look. Very natural, a little bit of windswept feel to it, in my personal opinion. It has a little bit of a fringe, so you could pull it across like this, and you can probably cut in the fringe properly, because as you can see, it's quite long. You could also part it slightly differently, so you have a slightly different look. I prefer to part it over here. That's my preferred look, but that's the beauty of wigs. We can all kind of style it how we would like, right? Flow comes with an extended lace front and a mono part, and I will show you the cap construction in a minute. And as I said, there is something extra there that I haven't seen before. So excited to show you that. Let's focus on this absolutely stunning lace front. Knots are tiny. There's not a straight harsh line here at all. The transition into the ear tabs, really well done. You kind of have to go looking for that transition. Really natural. So let's look at this mono part. Really well done. Please be aware that I have dark hair underneath it. So it's really, really natural in my personal opinion. So let's look at the cap construction. We have an extended lace front, which means it gives you a really natural hairline, as if the hair is growing out of your scalp all the way down to the ear tab. So when you want to pull back the hair or the wig, then it will look really natural. You have a mono part, goes all the way back to the crown. So that will give you a really natural part line, and because it goes all the way back to the crown, it will give you a really natural look in terms of how the hair falls around that part line. You have open wefts, sides and back. You have an extended nape with Velcro adjusters. And here is the best bit, I think anyway. We have something on the ear tabs and on the extended nape that I haven't seen before. This is what's called cool pad technology. So this isn't velour covered or velvet covered. This is covered with like a sports material, which means it helps with thermoregulation. That means it helps absorb sweat, etc. And it should therefore help to cool you down. Really clever little technology, and it works really well, I think, personally. A little bit of stretch. So let's talk about the fit. It is marketed as a petite average, and I do think this is about right. I have a 21.5-inch circumference. Without changing the adjusters, it fits really well. It has a little bit of gapping here at the back, so that's for me not unusual. There is space to tighten it more, so if you have a smaller circumference than mine, that would fit you really nicely. I think you might just have a little bit more gapping here at the back. If you have a larger circumference than mine, There is room to slightly widen it as well, so I do think it would fit a 22-inch. However, I have no way of really measuring it except my own head, so please check with Wig Studio One to ensure that it would fit you and that it would fit you comfortably. So let's talk about the fibers. These are heat-friendly fibers. As you can see, I hope so anyway, and from the outside footage earlier, there is no unnatural shine, even though this is a really light color. So really natural. I don't think there's any need for dry shampoo. There is a little bit of tangling, especially here at the nape, and that's not unusual. That's definitely something that happens with heat-friendly fibers, especially if they have a little bit of a wave or curl to it. So always have your white tooth comb with you, and every now and then just comb through it very carefully. I would also suggest to put on some silicone spray before you go out. It just helps to smooth the fibers and therefore kind of helps that they don't tangle as much, because the smoother the fibers are, the less tangling there will be. Density, I hope you can see this is a low density piece. There is no permatease that I can feel, at least not the big poofy kind. You have probably a little bit around the open wefts, a little bit smidgen. And I'm talking a little bit of permatease here just to cover the wefts slightly. But it's not big, it's not poofy, and hopefully you can see it is a really natural low density without being too thin. So let's talk about styling heat-friendly fibers so you can add a different wave or curl pattern to it if you so want, or you can straighten it out a bit more. If you don't like the slight wave, you can just straighten it out more. It would look something like this. If you don't want to use any heat tools, let's look what else you can do. Now it has a lot of layers, so some of the layers might fall out if you do like a low pony like this, but it is possible. You might just want to put some clips either side of the ponytail so it just keeps those layers at bay. It has a great lace front, so you could pull back one side like so. You can tuck it easily, one side, both sides. Let's look at half up, half down. Now, as I mentioned, you have a bit of a fringe here, and that will fall out, and that just frames your eyes really naturally and beautifully. That's a really lovely look, I think. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please follow me on Instagram and YouTube at KWearsWigs. Thank you again to Wig Studio One for providing me with this piece. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I hope I see you very soon. Bye.